Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 41st episode of the PokéSells official podcast. My name is Rocco Mitchell. As always, I'm your host. And this week, I am joined by a very special guest, multiple guests. That would be Anisa and Blake, also known as Pookemon Collectibles or Pookemon. They are a great, good friends in the Pokemon vendor space. And I think our first our first Pokemon couple on the podcast. So I'm really excited for this. It's gonna be a great episode. And before we start, if you guys could just introduce yourself, so those at home know who you guys are.
I'll go first. I'm Anisa, part of Pookiemon.
And I'm Blake.
Cool. What all right, yeah, that's great. So I don't know. How did we meet? I guess it was nationals, no?
No,
Was that really like before?
The first time we met was one of the Lighthouse shows. Mm-hmm. We were by Jackson's table, kind of like helping him out, but we were actually selling him some stuff. And like you came up, and I think you were with Abe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I probably was.
That was the day that Jackson got the those ponchos, the Magikarp.
Oh, yeah,
and
so. Was that when we were set
Gyarados.
Up? Huh? Was that when we were set up?
No, it was right after you had your surgery. So you were there, and I went and like got coffee. But you were like,
oh,
it was when he had that Umbreon from Prismatic, and we were gonna trade him.
Yeah,
that was that day. I don't know what day it was, but
I know that's when we first met. I think when we had our first like interaction, it was probably at a Lighthouse show that we were set up at. I'm pretty sure it was in March, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
March.
Was it March or?
Let me look.
April. March or April.
It was one
March
of them.
March or April, because that would have been before the first Grails, no?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I remember we talked more at the first Grails.
Let's see here.
Because I didn't remember anybody's name, and I was like, "Who's who?"
Yeah. You okay?
It probably was this one. March 28th, maybe.
I don't think it was long after Prismatic had come out because we were like, "No way, you have that card." But it was definitely after February 8th. So it was between like at least after February 8th because that's kind of when we started talking to Jackson. It was after the first collection.
Cool. That's awesome. It gets hazy sometimes. I forget. So much stuff happens. But yeah. And then like regardless, I think like the first, like you guys did Grails, and then I think like really like got to know you guys was at Nationals because like I was by you guys. And like I have a hard time remembering names of like people. So I would always like get names mixed up. I think I didn't remember Blake's name until the Nationals. Or I didn't remember any. I'm like, sorry, I'm really bad with the names.
No, you're fine.
Even like middle deals, like you can see it in my like videos of vendor POVs. I'll ask the guy like 4 times like what his name is, and I feel so bad. Like it's just something that I'm like really, really bad at. But yeah, Nationals, and then you guys got me cupcakes for my birthday, which was super cool. And then what else? Yeah, and then kind of like Grails, and then we just got like really close, and then
I think
that's kind of been it.
Like with Atlanta, and then what was it? What was the last show that we did again? Lighthouse. You know, like getting dinner and lunch with you afterwards. Mm-hmm. I think it's been cool, like getting to know everyone too. And it's only been like 6 months, but I feel like we've all gotten really close.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely think it's been great. And it's awesome to see everyone like grow together and everyone like do really well. And like just everyone kind of motivating each other. And like, I don't want to say it's like cliques, but it kind of is in a way. Or like there's like certain groups of people, or it's more like it's like we're an all big inclusive family, but then like certain groups will splinter off like depending on like your interest of the cards or kind of like what I guess everyone's mission will be like. And it's happened like for like for example, like Max, who is someone that we know. Like me and him, like when I first met him, he was with someone else, which is kind of walking the show, and I don't want to say like I kind of like pushed him off to the side, but like I kind of was just like, oh yeah, it's just another guy that wants to like get into Pokemon or whatever, and I kind of like did some deals with him, and then he started texting me about Grails and not getting a table, but he started like texting me on Instagram about a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, okay, so this kid like wants to know something. And then I invited him to nationals, and then like we were like best friends. So it kind of like it's weird sometimes how like it's always like that, but I think most people are also inclusive. And then another thing that I thought was really that helped us both was this guy when you guys gave me this guy to trade for the Obsidian Flames box. Which do you guys still have that?
No, we sold it to Jackson.
Oh, okay.
He still has it.
Yeah.
It's the cursed box.
I remember when we traded with you for the first time.
What is he chewing on?
Hold on, our cat is like looking or chewing on something. But I remember like the first time we were talking about our cat was chewing on a PSA slab bag. So.
Oh, there you go.
I bet that shows you what we're doing all the time. But with that box, I remember the whole ordeal afterwards when we noticed that the price of the box had increased significantly, and we're like, you want this back? And you're like, no, that's like a part of doing business. And so, but it worked out in your favor because you got a 10, and so it worked out in the end. All three of us.
And then I got. I was
gonna say, did we let him pick which one he wanted? Because we have two.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was I remember that was we put it off to the side, but we had you look at both of them because I had it in my binder.
I think the one that you still have would grade.
Oh, well, maybe we'll send it in.
Yeah. But I will say though.
I think. No, go. That's all good.
I was gonna say, like, when Anisa and I did the Cards and More show in Memphis, we noticed that like it was like a lot of the Memphis vendors were very much like business only, like they didn't care to make friends, like they weren't really friendly with each other and stuff like that. And that was something that was super nice, like coming back to Nashville. Like everybody was like super friendly with each other, at least
like getting lunch after shows and stuff like that. That was like on that topic, the event coordinator for the Cards and More tour, Jamie. He had told us that we were like, out of all of the places he's visited across the US, he said that our group was like the most close-knit, like most like family-like group, and that he was really happy that at least there was one city out there that had that, because he can see that it sometimes can divide people. And so I thought when we were in Memphis, it felt like that, like there were people talking about each other behind their backs. And like, not to say that that doesn't happen here, but I feel like we're all friendly enough where like people feel that they can trust us and, get along with everyone too. So it definitely helps having that.
Well, it's also, like, yes, we're technically in competition with one another, but at the end of the day, I mean, like, I don't have an issue, if there's something that I know somebody else has that, if it's like, for example, like if somebody comes up and is like, hey, do you have this Leafeon and a PSA 10? I wouldn't have an issue sending them to you, or like Joe, when he has like anybody brings me vintage, I'm like, nah, just go take it to him. Then it's, I mean.
Yeah, I think it's like a mutual respect between everyone. And like, we've talked about it before. But more like, I think a big and I don't like toot my own horn or our own horn, but like a big, I think a thing that attributed to it was Grails and Gory. I really think that us being able to run a show like for vendors, like for you guys, and like really like hone that in, that like we're all a family. And something that I know I learned from Abe, and then from like Tony and a lot of other people when starting up in here in November, because it's almost been a year since I've been vending, which is crazy. But like everyone eats together, like everyone like works together, everyone like is tight knit, like everyone, like the same exact example. That actually happened at last Lighthouse. Someone, Jesse, who is a guest that we've had on multiple times, make sure to check out our podcast episodes with. He's awesome. He's a little bit interesting sometimes, but he's great. Someone had wanted the Leafeon, and he pointed him to my table, and I was like, "Oh, cool, that's great." So, and then like the vintage thing, like I sent him to Joe and Reese, who Reese has also been on the podcast. Make sure to watch that. Sorry for self-plugging, everyone, but you guys should watch those episodes. They're great. But no, so I think it's like really, really cool and really awesome that like we have this, and at the same time too, like I said, like within the span of like 6 months, I think, or like, you know, like probably the last 10 to 6 months, a lot of people have come into the space to like vend. And I mean, if you think about it, like Lighthouse is a perfect example of that. When I was first starting Lighthouse with Abe, my first Lighthouse show, there were maybe 7 Pokemon vendors in the room, maybe. And obviously those Pokemon vendors have multiple tables, but you know, like the jump from now to Lighthouse from now has been crazy. And it's like, it's just been now half the room is like Pokemon, quite literally. Like, it's like that's what he says. Like you can see it on the Lighthouse post. It's like 110 tables, 60 Pokemon tables, 40 like sports cards, and it's just like, or 50 sports card, whatever the dividend is. But like, it's just crazy. And it's like, I don't know. And then also, I think that's also why there was a thing with nationals that's coming up, and that whole thing. I think Jeff is starting to see like that a lot of the more money is Pokemon, at least on the vendor side. And I think he's getting salty it's taking away. But that's a conversation for a different time that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to lose my tables at Lighthouse. Yeah, so I think it's like, at least that's my observation of it. And I know different people have different opinions on it within the space, especially. But I think that it's really cool here what we have. And yeah, and I've never done a show outside of the national space. That should be until next weekend, which you guys will also be there. And I will be there, hopefully, which is Chicago Collecticon. I'm really excited to see how different it is to see in like a space outside of, because I guess Atlanta is outside of Nashville, but it's also still very local. Like I felt most of the people we knew.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I felt like walking around, I saw a lot of familiar faces.
And like people coming up to our tables
and they were like,
being like, "Oh my gosh, I know you from Nashville."
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like going up to a different area where like local shops like have like a lower percentage of buying, it'll be really interesting to kind of see like the kind of deals you're able to make. So
yeah, like we heard that up kind of in the Chicago area, they're buying at like what, like
60 to like 40.
No, not even that. Yeah, like 40 or 50%.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of like you can go to like some of the card shops, offer them like 70% and they'll take it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's also, I wonder how that affects the attendee as well, because like maybe they want to go to Collecticon to get better percentage.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great for TCG player. I'll have to check that out. Maybe I'll pick up everything at 20%. No, okay. But no, I think that's going to be cool. It'll be a fun experience for sure. And will be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah. And I think like with Atlanta, especially, that was like very much, I don't want to say like the final boss, but that was kind of like, I think like the pinnacle of like what we've been saying with like all these new people coming in, and like us all coming in. Like, I feel like it was like, okay, Lighthouses and then Grails and then Nationals and then Cards and More. And it's like, okay, everyone that's like really into it, like everyone who's going to Collecticon. And I think it was like, it was just crazy. And like, not final boss moment, but I think it was like very, very interesting and cool to see everyone. But enough on that spiel. I want to talk more about y'all. Obviously, you guys have been into Pokemon for a little bit, or I don't know how long. And that would be my question. What is y'all's like Pokemon story?
I think you should start first since you have more of a story.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, like, yeah, I collected as a kid, and I have my binder, but it's the red one back behind. Has a bunch of like my old childhood cards in it and stuff. And like mainly would play the games more so than collect the cards, just because like I feel like as a kid my luck was terrible. I never pulled anything good. The best card that I probably ever pulled, and I want to get it graded, but like I know it wouldn't grade, is a Team Rocket's Entei.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it like the foil on the edge is like coming up and stuff. Like just to have it like preserved, I would love to get it graded for that. And I remember the story behind it. I went to Plymouth, Massachusetts with my family, and this was probably in like 2009, so it was probably like 10 or 11. And we went to a mall. Do you know what FYE is?
Mm-hmm. It's like
they sold like vinyl records. It's kind of like box lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold like a bunch of like CDs and posters and stuff like that. Well, they sold Pokemon packs, and I bought one. It was a gift return, and I pulled that in the mall. I started like freaking out or whatever. And so then I've kind of like been on and off with like I always kind of like played the games, and like stopped collecting. Then kind of got back into it during like 2019, 2020 for a little bit, and then stopped. But then like January of this year, I don't even remember what we were doing. We went to GameStop to look for something, and they had a bunch of like Pokemon.
It was a game. I think we were wanting to play like Mario, like the new Mario game.
Maybe. I can't remember. And they had a bunch of like Silver Tempest packs on the wall, and a bunch of the like Obsidian Flames and stuff like that. And this was like right before, like literally probably like the first of the year, like first couple days of 2025. And so we get some packs, go immediately to the car and open them because we're like, I don't feel like going home. We pulled something. It was a Charizard worth like, I don't know,
$20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Maybe it's the full art one.
I think so. From Obsidian Flames.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Obsidian Flames. And then, so we're like, okay, we'll go back inside. And we get like an ETB. No. We got like 2 or 3 ETBs, like, because then we both wanted to open a full one.
Yeah.
Our kitties are arguing. And then we go home and we pull the top chase from Obsidian Flames.
I pulled it.
She pulled it and she was like, is this the one that you wanted? And I was like, yeah, it is. And then, yeah. Yep.
So that is the beginning of my story. Growing up, like I never collected the cards or opened a pack, but I would occasionally play the games on like my friends' DSs. And then after that, like it wasn't really anything I got into. Like I knew like who Pikachu or Peekaboo, as my dad likes to call him, and like Charizard. But then it wasn't until like January that I opened my first pack, and then the obsession began. But it's been really fun because it's something that like has brought us together and like gives us a hobby to do together. And so like being able to do that like while we also like grow our relationship is really cool too, because it shows us like how we interact with other people and do business. And I think we both are very ethical, and that's something that matters to me is like, if someone is out there trying to get a good deal, I'll work with them, but also knowing when to not be like taken advantage of is also
it's helped me learn how to say no to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've always wanted to like, and like, I don't mind helping out my friends. And like, especially with the Jackson, he's like, stop being too nice. Quit it.
Yeah.
He's had to tell me that. He told me that the other day. He was like,
Jackson's just a different breed.
Yeah. But I think that's also something about us that like, if you come to us, people feel like when they come to us that like they know that we're going to give them like a good deal. We're not there to like take advantage of them or anything like that, because that's definitely happened to me before, and it's not pleasant, especially when you want to like continue building or like being a part of that community. And so having bad negative connotations or experiences with people definitely rubs people the wrong way.
And I think one thing that kind of bothers me is I've heard and I've seen it a couple times where vendors will be like, "Oh, I just fleeced this kid or whatever," and I'm like, "Okay, so you're bragging about taking advantage of a kid that most likely doesn't know what he has? Like, that doesn't sit right with me." And so there have been a couple instances where like a kid will bring something to us and his parents won't know what they have, and we'll be like, "Hey, like, this card is worth X amount of money. Like, just so you know what you have," because there have been some times where like, this kid will bring like a collection and it'll be pretty good,
like near mint condition,
and like for some like pretty heavy hitting cards, and I'm like, so we try to tell them, we're like, "Hey, like, this card is in this condition, like,
this is where you look it up and how you look it up, so that way you can look up all of your other cards." And you can see that the parents really appreciate that, especially when like, you're trying to raise a kid and like you have only so much money that you can invest in this hobby, and like making sure that the parents feel that they're not being taken advantage of either, I think is really important. Because there have been times where we've given out like some of the collection box items like sleeves, notebooks, stickers, and like
posters,
the parent
binders.
like the Pokemon Hershey's Kisses, like the people were asking us like, "Oh, is this free?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What?" Like, they get confused.
Something so small.
And it's like, well, like, you guys are bringing me your business. Like, even if they don't buy anything from our table, like, I still want them to have like that positive experience with us. So it's like, like, oh, if we can make them have like something where they want to come and talk to us, like, I think that's just something that, like, that's why we have like our Pokeball with the Hershey Kisses, and like it just brings people to you and creates a welcoming environment, which is what I really think Pokemon is about.
It's gonna kind of suck when they discontinue those
the Pokemon Kisses.
They just hoard up on them.
But yeah, and I think like that's what it's about. It's just like bringing community together, and so community together. But
no, for sure, and I think that's like super important. And like, yeah, exactly. You don't want to like fleece the kids. That's no fun. But I think that and being kind with people and like letting them know like they do appreciate it. And like something for me, so like what I do, I don't have Hershey's, which, hold up, I'm trying to find this photo. Where it is, okay, so it's a day 100. Bam, that's me. I actually went to the Hershey store and they had the Pokemon Hershey's there.
Oh,
nice. New York. We went to the Hershey store in New York and we had some. We didn't get any, but it was really cool. But
Pokemon Oreos at one
something like to be like super kind like that, or something that I do is I have like my sticker rolls, which I kind of learned from my former employers at Publix. Just giving like free stickers out to the kids, or like giving free stuff out helps a lot. And their parents usually, like, if I give them like this collection might be a little bit of money, but let's just say I give them this cute looking like plain Wiggly Tuffy X. It's not like worth anything, but the parents are like, "Oh wow, that's crazy," and then like it kind of brings that like that breaks that barrier, and then like allows them to, maybe they start looking in your case or something like that. Like it just helps, and it's like it's just nice at the end of the day, if anything. So I do think there are some kids that know that though and do take advantage of that, which is also crazy to think about. And I know there are some kids that like in our community that do that. And I've told those guys to stay away from my table, and they're afraid of me every time they walk through. But no, it's definitely cool. But yeah, I think that your story actually reminded me of my friend, also named Jesse, but not the Jesse we know. He lives in Toronto, I think. Does he live in Toronto?
That's cool.
Or Vancouver. He lives in Vancouver. He was my third guest on my podcast, which you guys should go watch. No more self-plugging, but and his story pretty much is he grew up with Pokemon his whole life, very big like entrepreneur guy, owns like a lot of like real estate stuff, like really like a really, really good guy. And him and his wife, were like hanging out one day, and Evolutions had just come out, and I think he said something like they bought upwards of like, is it like 500 packs, I think, or something? Like they bought like an insane amount of packs of Evolutions when it first came out, because she was like, he had been growing up with it his whole life, and then she was like, oh, what's this? And he kind of immediately jumped on that opportunity, and they opened like, I think like 500 or like 300 packs, something like that, some crazy amount like that, and she pulled like I think she pulled like 9 of the Charizards or something like that.
Dang.
And like she was like, oh my gosh, oh my god. So like it was like that helped them, and then now they own a shop together and stuff like that. Which is like really, really cool. But I think that Pokemon is like a great thing to bond over. And then also Jim, who we also know, a great friend of ours, told me that that's something that him and his fiance or partner, his partner, that they have bonded over extremely well in the past, like ever since he started like really getting into it. So it's really cool. I think it definitely, this hobby is a really great gateway into a lot of things. I know for me, I've met amazing people like you, Jim, Abe. I've met so many cool people. I've met Tony, who's awesome. And I thank him for a lot of things. But like so many people that I would have not been able to meet if I like was just like some random kid doing nothing. But it's definitely helped me network and like meet people and just like make business, like make a fun business, because like at the end of the day, like this is honestly what I want to do. And just like having a really good time like selling Pokemon cards and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just been really cool. But y'all's story is great. Do you still have the Charizard that you guys pulled?
No. That was one of our first cards that we sold, but we still do get it in. Like every time we see it.
No, but I don't think we have the one we pulled.
No, not the one we pulled, but like
the card. We do have one.
And now he's gonna plug inventory.
No. We have one that I just pulled recently.
What are you looking
for? For the Charizard. I don't know. Where's it at? Oh my gosh.
Which one are you looking for?
The Obsidian Flame Zone. Because I just pulled
one. Yeah,
after one of the shows.
Yeah.
I pulled one after one of the Hendersonville shows, literally in the middle of a parking lot while we were waiting to go in to go eat. And I pulled it because I was like, I want to open something. And then we just pulled the Mega Charizard from the new set. Mm-hmm. But did we sold it?
Do you have it with you? Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's awesome. We were on the fence. We were really on the fence about grading it, but there were some things that I was like, I don't know.
To me, it didn't seem like it would 10 just because of like the bottom of the back of the card.
It was the top.
Or the top.
But what really kind of like made it, and like it's something that we've been talking about recently, is like with the whole grading thing. Now that PSA has gone up on their price, but also gone up on their times. So it's like where it was $75 for a 10-day turnaround. Now it's $150 for a 10-day turnaround. So they've doubled the price for the same service. And it's like, is it even worth it anymore? Because it's like where I could, and I don't even know if I didn't even look to see if that would be like any upcharge. So like the Gengar VMAX that we just had come back, they upcharged us to $150 because we sent it with the $75 tier or whatever. But like, I don't know. Part of me just feels like it's not worth it.
No, I get it. And it's like that time required, like it's like your time for money aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't want to spend, amount of time. And I've had that issue with grading. Like I recently got a sub back. Do I have any of those cards? Well, obviously the Leafeon and then the other thing. But I have I just sent a sub out with Tommy, was on Friday or Saturday. And I think he did bulk priority. So I don't know when I'm going to see those cards again. You know, it might be in 2 months. It might be in 2 years. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But it's just gonna be on the flip side. I have the Mewtwo that's being with Jim, and then I have the Charizard, which I got from you guys. I got your Mewtwo, which that was great. And then what was it? I have one with Abe. I have the Charizard with Abe, the V-Star, the one that matches the Mewtwo, which is why I wanted to get the Mewtwo. But there's upsides and downsides to it. I mean, like for example, that Charizard when I sent it out, a PSA 10 was 600, and now a PSA 10 is I think like 1,000. So it's definitely like, I guess it's worth the time. But to wait like 3 months is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I feel like with vintage cards and stuff, it would make more sense. Like we have a Neo Genesis Lugia that we want to grade, and like, or even just like an Evolving Skies like Umbreon V that we want to send out. And like, I feel like cards like that make sense. But for some of these new grades, like for the Charizard, right? It's like, okay, 3 weeks to get it back. You know, if I could have the card back in a week, you know, that would be totally fine. But it's like 2-3 weeks from now, that card could drop in value by like $200 or $300. And so I take the guaranteed profit while I'm ahead because we pulled a day one release, or do we try to grade it and then, you know, risk it not coming back at 10 and then making less than what we would have? Like, let me see what the Charizard is at right now. Like I could buy it for $530 right now off of eBay. And so like even just buying it, we made $80. 510. Yeah. So it's like, and I've seen that the pull rates on this, I've been seeing a lot of people pull this card. And so
I haven't been hyped for a modern card in a long time, and since I saw that Charizard. Like the last modern cards that I really like are like the Sleeping Dragonite from Evolving Skies, which isn't really even modern anymore. And let's see what else was there. Oh, the Mewtwo, the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. I like that one because he's just like ominously standing there. But I
feel like it's a little overhyped. Like we pulled it and graded it, and it was awesome. You know, I was freaking out, but I don't know. I feel like that card is overhyped. I was literally just thinking about this. One card that I think is so underrated is the Shimpao from Paldea Evolved. I think this card is so, like the artwork I think is so good. It's like $100 card in a 10. Or like the Chi-Yu. The King. This card is actually sick. The Kingdra.
It's like it's an art style, and so like any art Pokemon.
Which those recently went up with the promos. But no, I think that's definitely an underrated. I like that one. The Greninja one was cool.
Yeah. Too. But also like the Chi-Yu. Do you know that card?
I think so. I know it's the Firefish, but like I would have to see the art again.
It's a really pretty card.
It's like $30, but it's so cool.
Yeah, that card's awesome. But it's just, there's definitely underrated stuff. I mean, I have like some, well, I guess these are like cheapy slabs. Let's see, what do I have here that, I mean, this kind of recently shot up. I think this card's underrated.
The Deoxys? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All the Crimson stuff I think is super cool.
I think this card's cool. It was obviously the chase of his head.
Oh, the Terrapagos?
I really wanted to pull that card. I wanted to pull that and the Squirtle.
But we pulled the Bulbasaur like 3 times.
This one?
I think that's probably one of my
Yeah.
That's probably
you could trade it.
Stellar Crown. He has all 3 of them.
Oh, really?
I do all 3.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
It's like my favorite set of the the Scarlet there.
Yeah.
I think that set's cool. I just like this. I just like this Charmander.
I know it's so cute. I think for me why I like it so much is because it's like the colors on it are really pretty.
I like he's pushing his face up against the glass.
Yeah. He looks so mad.
He wants to, what is it? Pidgeot is just like sitting there.
It's the Pidgey. Yeah, there's like a Pidgey line. So there's a Pidgey in all of them. So the Pidgey's right there.
He's just staring at it.
He's like,
It's right there.
Yeah.
And it's right there. So, no, I like this set. I think it's underrated. And it holds its value. I mean, it's like I think I've owned 3 copies of this Squirtle, I think. But no, I think that's a really underrated set.
I think those artworks are better than 151 artworks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better.
I think. Well, I mean, like for me, let me get the Bulbasaur or the Bulbasaur or the Bulbasaur. I think this is better than that. I really do think this is better. I don't know.
I think I just like the more naturey look of the other one.
I think that there were some graded cards that just popped with these. I think too. That.
Yeah, the ones.
What are you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
I got some of the blueberry ones.
Blue raspberry.
They should come in this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I got the 3 set, whatever that one was.
Nice.
So it has the cards featured were.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, I think that's cool. But even like some of these cheaper slabs like this, I think is great. This is a $50 slab.
What is it?
The Cyclizar.
The Cyclizar, yeah.
I hate that card.
Oh, wait. I don't think I've seen that.
I just don't. You've never seen that
What
one?
set is it from?
You've never?
Is it Shard of Fate? Or
Paradox. I think.
I was like, it's one of those. I also really like Green Fates, though. I feel like that's a beautiful set.
I don't think I've ever.
You've never seen that card.
I don't think I've ever seen this card.
I don't like that card just because I don't like Cyclizar. I don't understand why they made a motorcycle Pokemon.
Yeah, I've never seen this card. That's funny.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's great. I like this card. I like that art. It was in a trade. It was a good trade.
Look, it's only
with one of these guys. Anyway, which one? Oh, and then Blake. This was for your Entei.
I know, it's crazy. I saw someone on Facebook Marketplace that had one for sale and at 10. And I kind of want it, but it would only be for my PC, and so it's like I can't justify spending $3,000 on a card just for my PC.
Yeah, I feel that. The only card we have, well, I guess I have a couple cards on my PC, but the only one that we have is
trade this for it.
Is that Mega Sableye Tyranitar?
What?
I do like this card. This is another card I absolutely love. This is PC. This is like one of the only cards I have in my PC.
I have a really good PC.
Then it's a Luxray, because I love Luxray. A Raikou that my brother got me for my birthday. And then Tyranitar. I actually got this from Joe.
Oh.
No, not Joe. I got this from Jackson.
Oh,
I have one.
I have the non-hollow one.
I have the non-hollow.
This is actually... Yeah.
Give me this.
This was my first slab ever bought at a card show. Oh, look at that.
You nervous?
That's tough. I used to... What's that? I had the Pikachu. I really like that Pikachu. That was a cool Pikachu.
Oh, we need the Pikachu.
Oh. Prismatic and Evolving Skies?
It's just a mix of all the Vs.
And then
the VMAXs.
The VMAXs with the ugly Eevee in the middle. And then my favorite is Espeon. I love Espeon. So I got this one from Jackson.
It's awesome.
This one's probably my all-time favorite card.
Which one?
This one.
That's cool, Espeon.
It's so pretty.
And that's just like a basic EX. It looks awesome, though.
I know.
Like, all the X and Y artwork is like so good for like what it was.
I wish they did a new Luxray card, which there's a leak that says that there's going to be a new Mega Luxray in the Legends ZA game. And
there should be.
hopefully they do a Mega Luxray card. That would be so sick.
They should do a Mega Espeon.
Oh.
They should do Mega Evolutions. Cool. That would be cool.
That'd be tough.
SIR.
That would make like a lot of money too. Like a Mega Moon Kitty. Make like a crescent go over its head.
No, I would just open a lot to pull it.
Yeah, so still spending like $2,000.
But no, I think that'd be cool. So you guys talked about or like your Pokemon journey, but what kind of got you guys into vending for it?
Well, we'd been opening a lot of sets for like a month and a half, or not even a whole month. And we had a lot of like hits, and so they weren't necessarily things we wanted to keep in our personal collection. And so we went to our first show, the Lighthouse show, sometime in January. And then we ended up meeting Brew, and then we ended up going to Atlanta for the first Collecticon this year. And we talked more to Brew there. We literally only went to his table because we had such a great experience with him in January at the Lighthouse show that we were like, all right, well, we know where he's going to be. He gave us the best deal. So that's how we got there. And that's where we met Jackson. He was working at his table, and we ended up spending like 2 hours talking to him. So, yeah. And then
Jackson.
Yeah. And then we were talking to Jackson about like how many cards we had, because our inventory was quite large. And then we slowly kind of thought about, oh, well, maybe this is something that we could do while talking to Jackson. And so I'll let you add anything.
I mean, yeah, it was, I think what it kind of was at first was we started vending just to kind of fuel our own collection. And so, you know, it gave us a way to buy all the prismatic EVs for her. And so I think that's kind of how it was like started. And then it's just progressed. It was like, oh, like, you know, it's, you know, a lot of fun just being able to meet and talk to everybody. And so then we're like, okay, well, we'll just kind of see where it goes. And, you know, here's 6-7 months later. We are now doing like these really big shows. And so that's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. No, that's cool. And that's how I felt like a lot of people do it too, is like to fuel their pack addiction or their pack opening addiction. Luckily, I didn't have that problem. I have a problem with a lot of other things though. Like yeah, I can bring it. I have an issue with a lot of things. Here, where is it?
You look so tired. Wake up.
Like this. Oh, which we got this at the last Lighthouse show.
Bro made him walk out barefoot.
Which I did make him walk out barefoot. But I almost did that. The only thing too is I almost did that in Collecticon too. I almost bought someone's shoes off of me Collecticon, which was super funny.
That's funny.
But no, I have other addictions of collectibles that I enjoy. But no, Jackson's great. I love Jackson. Jackson was the first guy that kind of like took me under his wing, and definitely like helped me like understand what like buying at 80% was, because at that time I was kind of like buying for I was kind of doing what like Max did in the beginning, which was funny because I was like able to help him in the beginning, but he was more like I was just buying for like $50 under market, or like, you know, like 20, like, you know, like I was thinking more dollar amount, and Jackson was like, oh, you need to think more like percentage amounts. I was like, oh, okay, that's smart. And then we just started, he just helped me. I remember like there'd be times like we were like, I would just call him randomly at like 1 a.m. like being like, Jackson, how do I make this work out? Like I'm looking at all these charts, I'm looking at all these cards, and he would just like chill out, relax, take a deep breath, and like he would walk me through everything. But Now he just like lets me be, and like is kind of like, the student has become the master. Not really though. But he's right.
Our teacher too. Like there were times where we like chatted with him for a while, like just trying to understand like, that whole buying at percentages things, and then also just like how to evaluate like the condition of the card or like the value. And so it was really helpful. But yeah.
No glaze, Jackson, no glaze. No glaze, trust. But I know he's awesome. And he's a great human being, even though we hate on him. He's awesome at his core. But yeah. And he's also the one that kind of told me it's okay to not have a PC, which is why I don't really have a PC right now.
That's exactly what I'm doing through mine. I'm working through it like week by week, being like, all right. But yeah.
No, he really helps with that. But I didn't know that y'all went to Collecticon Atlanta. So how was the difference between going there as a vendor and going there as an attendee? Because Collecticon Atlanta was my first Collecticon ever. I've never been to an event like that. The only Collecticons I've seen was on YouTube videos. So I was kind of like, I've always seen the vendor side of it. I've never seen like the attendee side of it. So like, how was that kind of for you guys?
I feel like for me, I preferred vending just because I didn't have like my arm swing. But I feel like there were better, like I had more fun doing the deals with people. And like we made a little competition between us and Jim and Tara at Mavros Collectibles. And so
some things that I will say and I think that this is a reason why I feel like I enjoyed vending more. I'll say this, just to kind of preface it though. I think that this second Collecticon was definitely a lot slower than we went, because when we went, it felt like we could hardly walk. But this time, it felt like there was a lot more open space, and the venue was like they opened up like another like expo building for us, which was nice. But something that I noticed, and like when we went the first time, I feel like there were a lot of vendors there that weren't very friendly, that didn't really like want to interact or talk to you if you weren't buying anything. And like it just felt like they were kind of ignoring you. And I even noticed it when we were vending, like if I walked around to try to look for stuff while she was watching the table and vice versa, it was like I walk up to some of these people and they just like don't even acknowledge me. Like, and this was like the second one that we were like set up at, and it was like these people and they're just like on their phone, like just like can't be asked to like do anything. And I was like, I don't know. It's like, that's not the way that I want to make people feel when they come up to our table. And so like seeing that, it's like, okay, I want people to have a good experience coming up to us. And so kind of like make them want to come back. But
yeah, no, and I think that's, sorry if you're going to say anything, Anisa.
Oh, no, you're good.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I think that's true. And I think that is like very different from like our group, like we said before, and a lot of other people, is that like we're there genuinely as like hobbyist first, and then I think vendors second. And I think that a lot of people outside of like this other circles, or in like those more professional circles, are more business first and then maybe hobbyists if they want to or if they have time. And I genuinely think they're like, they still do care about the game in a way, but not as heavily as I think like some of the people here. And I think that's just what's different from Nashville. But that's cool. I did hear that from a lot of people that the first Collecticon in Atlanta was very busy. So what you guys were saying, so that it was a slower Collecticon, which is very interesting. So I'm excited to see how Chicago is compared to that.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I think it's because there was another convention out like in Atlanta that was also for collectibles. Like I think it was mainly shoes.
Culture Collision or something like that.
Yeah. So it was just like people were moving in between the spaces.
Yeah. And there was something that you said, Rocco, that kind of like brought up another thing. Oh, it was about the people that like don't necessarily, they may not care about the hobby. I feel like recently we've been seeing a lot more people get into the hobby just because they can see like money to be made from it. Mm-hmm. And so now you're getting like all the people that were into shoes, and now the shoe market or whatever may not be doing so hot. So they're just trying to go on to the next thing that's like just about reselling. And, they're only about reselling and stuff. But then you have the finance bros. And like there was that statistic, I think, that came out recently that like Pokemon is, what was it, like 3,000% increase since like 2003 or whatever. And the stock market is only like 300 or 400%. And so like you're seeing all these people that are like looking at it more as like an investment in like an appreciating asset rather than like a Rolex, that like as soon as you leave the store, it may drop by, $2,000 in price just because it's used. But, with Pokemon, like it's something like, I think people are starting to look at it more as like artwork.
Yes. And I agree. And I know we talked about this one-on-one, I think, on the way to Lighthouse on Saturday. But I think that there's definitely more like traditional money, I guess you could say, that's coming in, or like resale money. Yeah. And I mean, I know there was this experience that I had at Collecticon Atlanta where I was looking for gold stars for a friend of mine who was trying to buy some gold stars, and I was just like middlemaning for him. He's like, yo, if you find any gold stars that they could give me a good price for it, just let me know. I was like, cool. So I was looking around talking to a whole bunch of vendors, which was really nice. It was a lot of these kids, or not kids, but a lot of these people were like really, they were like, oh wow, look at this kid that he's like actually doing. So like they were very impressed, I guess, with what I was trying to do. And that I actually knew like, okay, bam, I see this card, let me alt it. Okay, cool. What's your marks on? Like they were like very genuinely like interested, I guess, or like surprised. But there's this one guy that I talked to, and he was cool. And he was it was funny because he was one of my friends, another friend of mine's, like, I guess, vending buddy for the weekend or whatever. And he, he had like this crazy, like pretty good inventory. I was like, yo, how long have you been doing this? He's like, oh, 6 months. And I'm like, what? How do you have like ponchos and like all this stuff in like 6 months? He's like, oh, I used to be a shoe reseller. I just put all my shoe money into this. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And it kind of like, I don't want to say like turns you off immediately, but it kind of makes it like, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. And actually the statistic that you had, I know that because I reposted that actually on my personal Instagram and maybe on my PokéSells Instagram, but it was like the Pokemon market since I think 2003, 2006 has upgraded like 3,000%. And then the stock market, has been this, or Bitcoin has been this. And I think that that's just because collectibles is like a new and emerging asset class. I think it's been definitely like on the rise, especially since COVID. And after post-COVID, I think a lot of people are trying to see like different ways to either make money or hold their money. And I think that there's definitely a side of it that I think is, like it can be market manipulation, it can be wrong, but I honestly think it's a good thing for the hobby in the long run. Because imagine like if someone does sees this as like a piece of art. You know, like, and they have it, they buy the card at whatever, $500 market, full comp. And they're like, I just want to display it in my office. I've seen that with multiple, like I've done, like dog sitting, or I've done like things for a whole bunch of like indoor people, like I go into their home office. I've done it. Max's dad actually has it in his office, but he has like a slab in like a phantom case, and it's just on his desk. And I think for me, like I would much rather have, a Moonbryon than a piece of like a little thing of gold. Like I would much rather have the Moonbryon in the nice graded guard in the phantom case on my desk, knowing that, okay, that's worth as much as the gold bar that my next guy has. But it's like, I'm gonna keep it there. And I think it's fun. There's definitely a time and place for it. Obviously, if you're just trying to like buy out every Bubble Mew in the known world and then like dump every Bubble Mew afterwards, there's an issue. But I think that like if it depends on how you're coming into it. And then the whole thing with like scalping and all that stuff, I think has been like a really bad thing for the hobby right now. It's interesting. And I don't think it's has died down, but I think that it's just, I don't want to say people have complacent with it, but I feel like the scalper, like hot topic scalper thing kind of went away. And I think that it's going to be really interesting going into Q4, which now we're in Q4, how to see how all the markets are going to be moving. Because I saw a video yesterday, how like a lot of the TCG player markets are like kind of relapsing. So it's like going like this, and there's like a little dip, and everyone's like panic buttoning, but then like that's when you buy, and then it should shoot up like around Christmas time. But it's all cycles. And stuff like Magic, like for example, the new Spider-Man set that came out in Magic, which was really cool. I thought that was an amazing collab. But like right now, booster boxes are like going down. Like I think they're like $400 right now, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I have seen that a lot of people weren't like super happy about that. But kind of going back to like the whole display thing, like one thing like the felt hat Pikachu, is like when they're starting to do like actual like kind of like inspired artwork. Same with the Kingdra, it's like actually modeled after like famous artwork. And so I think that that's super cool when they do stuff like that. Because, it makes it like a conversation piece. It's like, oh, there was the one card, the one card that Jackson had, and it had like a super cool backstory. It was only available like if you like completed something in the game, and I think you had to mail them something. Yeah. It was a Gengar card. I can't remember the full backstory of it, but you had to like mail something. And, that's super cool having the backstory behind that. But another thing is like when you kind of brought up that the Moonbryon and like the price of gold, it's like when we talk about like the price of some of these cards, any other thing. So like, say the 151 Charizard, it's like what, $1,400 right now. And it's like in our day-to-day lives, like, am I going to go like spend $1,400 on something that I just want? No. But then if we like start to look at it from like a business aspect of it, you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, that's like, not that expensive.
Yeah. But then like you start adding up the price of everything, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that could be like X amount of months rent, or a down payment on a car or whatever.
No, for sure. Oh yeah, it's so crazy to like realize that. Like, and I've had this multiple times, where I'll be like, I'll hold this in my hand, and I'm like, dang, I could turn this into a car if I wanted to, but it's like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, it's just fun. It's funny. And it's like, it's just weird.
It's also like, oh, sorry.
No, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's also like a safety thing, like you never really know what life has in store, right? And so it's like, if Anisa and I, if anything were to happen and we needed like cash like super quick, like we know that we could dump, some inventory and have that cash right there, rather than it's like, well, like what am I gonna do about getting money fast? And so it's like, and being able to like have it scaled, and so like where we, put into the business versus where it's at now, it's it kind of gives us some like comfort in knowing like if anything were to happen, like car trouble, or somebody were to lose a job, or something like that, and then we're out of work for X amount of time, like that we could have this to kind of fall back on for at least a little bit.
Yeah, no, and I think that's awesome. And like kind of like for me, like I see it from the other perspective where like I'm trying to like do this as like what I want to do. Like this is like what I want to do. So for me, it's like there's going to have to be a point where I'm gonna have to make X amount of dollars from doing this so that I can eat food, and like pay rent and stuff like that, which is it's daunting, but it's like cool because like I know that I'm building it now. And that so by the time that that time comes, I'll be well sophisticated and do that. And like for example, like my boy Reed, who I have also on the podcast, which you guys should go check out. I do a lot of self plugging here. I'm sorry, guys. My podcast is the best podcast. You should watch it. But he got to a point, so he dropped out of college to do cards because he was like, "Why am I in class when I've literally like done X amount of money in the day selling Pokemon cards?" And pretty much his parents kicked him out of his house, and he had to live in this like grimy little apartment for like a couple months. But he was doing Pokemon, and now he's at a point where he's making like 6 or 7 figures like a month doing Pokemon. And it's like it's just crazy. Another one of my friends, Arvin, Goated Pulse, he had, I think, what was it? He had like $3,000 maxed out on his credit card bill from opening Pokemon packs. And he's like, "Oh well, looks like I got to make this work out somehow." And within a couple of years, now he's making like 6 figures like weekly doing like streaming. So it's like it's definitely there, like the scalability is there, and like the amount to make retarded amount. I can't say that word. The amount to make stupid amounts of money in the Pokemon space is there. So I think that I don't know. It's just crazy, and like for me, like especially like I've been able to do so much like in the short amount of time. Like I started with like $200 pretty much, like a $200 collection, and I just flipped it and flipped it and flipped it until like literally I don't know, I can't really show my room, but I'm surrounded by Pokemon cards right now. Like literally I'm just surrounded by Pokemon. That's all that I am, like I do, and all that I've been able to do, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to like pounce on something and take the opportunity. And do crazy things. Like I never thought that I would be going to Atlanta for anything, much less doing Pokemon cards. Like I've always wanted to go to Chicago, and now I get to actually go to do something that I love, and be with people that are awesome. So it's just like I'm really blessed for the opportunity, and like I'm really grateful for everything it's brought me. I've been able to like complete a lot of goals that I have had in my life. Hopefully, I will be getting my license by the end. It's October, so I will be getting my license at October 23rd. And then after that, I should be getting a car. So, and that is going to be off Pokemon, which is crazy to say. I'm probably I want the license plate to be TCG player, because it's going to be good. TCG player collab, please. Which is I actually have a funny thing I need to talk about. I'll probably going to talk about later. But yeah, so it's just fun. I'm always looking for ways to do it, and then having also Max now has really helped me. We do like daily calls and stuff like that, to make sure that we're growing together and that like we're aligned on like what we want to do with the business. So it's definitely been.
Is he working for you, or like has his own stuff?
So we're like, he wants to combine both things, but the thing is for me is like we're together, but we're separate. If that makes sense. So he's pulling packs, I'm PokéSells, and then we just work together. We were gonna have a thing, but Jeff, I think I'm okay with Jeff because we emailed back and forth, and it's like, "Don't worry, I have someone that bought your table, so don't worry about it," type of thing. So he was very generous with that. But there was gonna be a thing where Max was gonna run my stuff on Nationals, and I was gonna run the stuff there. So technically we're together, but we're separate. And I hope that there's a point where it's me and him, me, him, Luca, and some other people that we meet along the way, or you guys, or anyone, I don't really know. But just like going everywhere, being travel vendors, and doing crazy stuff, and just being young Pokepreneurs. But I'm yapping, and I yap a lot on this podcast. That's why I have a podcast. But
that's very valid. So do I.
Yeah. What Oh, okay, this is cool. So you said your favorite Pokemon is Espeon, Anisa. What is your favorite Pokemon, Blake?
Luxray.
Did you look at the front?
Did you say that already? I'm sorry if you said that already and I wasn't paying attention. Oh my goodness. Gang, I have dementia, bro.
This is the most expensive Luxray card. And
that's the full gold one?
It's from a Legends Art. No, it's from like one of the Arceus sets. But I actually got it. His name is Alex. And he used to play like in the NFL. He said he played for the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's crazy.
And I got it from him, and so now every single time, like I see him, I can't remember his name, what his last name is.
Let me see if I can find it.
But he played for. Did he play for the Bears?
Oh yes.
I don't know football.
Me neither.
I'm not a football guy.
Alex Bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
He's very
This
nice.
is him. He's so nice. You've probably seen him. He's super tall. But he's so nice. I actually got it from him at the national show.
Mm-hmm.
So nice. And that may be one of my favorite ones because it's shiny. Like it's the shiny Shinx. And like the shiny Luxray is technically my favorite, but
close enough.
Yeah. And the only other shiny ones are from Pouty and Fates.
Yeah. No, Fates is a chill Pokemon. I like Slowpoke and Wooper. I like therapy Pokemon.
Wooper?
Those are your favorite?
Yeah, because Wooper just be chilling. Wooper just be like that's what I do. I'm on my little rolling case, just rolling around Collecticon. I'm just like, Oh, I actually wanted to get back to the point that you guys said. I enjoy vending shows more than I do attending shows because I can do the same thing, but I'm making money. Obviously, you make money while you're walking if you want to. But if you guys know me, I zoom around everywhere. I'm on my little case, just rolling everywhere. That rolling case was so fun to purchase because now I have a vehicle that I can just go anywhere in the Collecticon and just like sit down and set up shop and be like, okay, I want this and this and this and this. And yeah, I can tell people that I'll buy their entire binder and they'll be like, what the heck? And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll just buy everything. But
we saw some dude at the Atlanta one, and he had one of those like motorized ones, and he was just like zooming. That looked so fun.
Yeah, no, there was. I got to invest in that because it's awesome. It's just so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them should get matching ones and just zoom around.
Oh, they have like the ones that like have like actual handles on it, but this is what his was.
$600.
No, maybe not that.
Actually,
there's one where he like goes on its side. Electric suitcase.
No, he's looking on Amazon now.
Let's see. Also, have you seen the new Meta glasses? Those are sick. They have the screen.
I'm gonna get some of those. That's gonna be my next pair of glasses I'm getting.
I want to get. That would be sick.
I'm gonna get it for content.
Use
the augmented reality.
We could get one for like $570.
$600.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 6-7.
With like insurance and stuff.
This one's $500.
Oh, insurance? Oh, I don't know.
No. Which? Oh, wait. You're talking about the suitcase. I thought you were talking about the Meta glasses. My bad.
No, look, we can get that for like $500.
That's tough. Yeah, bro. But the thing is, can you fit the case? Can you fit the cards in there like that?
Lighting on it. That looks so fun.
That's how you catch us in Chicago, bro.
Just zoom around. Yeah. And then you could write your logo on the side.
Dude, that would be sick. It has a phone where it automatically follows you too.
Yo, imagine having just like a whole fleet of those. Like you don't even need like. No, did you guys were there, right? Where I almost fell off my case at Lighthouse?
No.
I was zooming, I tripped and I almost fell. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. But nah, that's no, I love zooming on my case. I love my Zion case. Thank you for the man who sold that on me for very cheap on Instagram.
We need a new case. I want a Rolly case.
Yeah. I want a Rolly.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let me roll my wrist. Which is what this is for. Trade up with me on Instagram, please. Thank you.
What value is that at right now?
That's a great question. Let's check the almighty alt.
Like 650.
650? So
Yeah.
650. So that would be 650 plus 65. So anything in the 715 range, 720. If I could get a 720 trade up, I would be happy. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I need that. I need 720. It would be preferred for this trade up. Which I don't know what's like a good slab. Greninja's not even still in the 700s. I don't even know what's in the 700s. So. It's like a K now, right?
Yeah, it's like 11 or 12.
That's crazy work.
I know which one you're looking for. It's this one.
This one? That is 715. All right. Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
What's his name? Steven has like 3 of these.
I know. He wanted one for my Captain Pika, but I don't know if he would help me. He was kind of. He was a little. He wasn't rude, but he was being funny with me. But I'll text. I should probably text him after this.
What you could have done is, because the Captain Pikachu and the Leafeon were roughly the same price, right? You could have just traded that.
They are the same price.
You could have just used the Captain Pikachu as the trade up instead of the Leafeon.
That's true. And I could have sold it for cash. I mean, I know the guy who does it. I know the dealer. He has one. He actually has one that's like really good. I think I do. That one, and then do you know I think it's called Vukan?
The Rolex guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just watching him earlier laying in the bed.
No, he's so cool. What was it? Vu.
I like the tracks guy. He like gives out the like free gold and silver.
Wait, are we still recording right now for the podcast?
I don't know. What flavor is that?
Yes.
Sweet tangy barbecue.
Give me some.
I'm sorry.
Vukum, hit me up for a roll for Pokemon trade.
I don't want to touch it.
Hey.
Blake, he's still the podcast.
He's gonna cut it out. He said post.
You look so tired.
I don't know why I'm gonna sleep all day.
He looks so tired.
I don't know. Oh, you might have a new follower, by the way.
Who? Gabby?
And we're still recording.
Damn, you ate all of them? I think y'all's Instagram. Because I told her that we were recording a podcast tonight. I sent a picture. She's like, oh my goodness. Those are the people. October 11th is the next Lighthouse. Why do I feel like I'm doing something? And that's where gone. Bro.
No, she didn't follow us.
She did? No. Well, she hasn't read that text. She's been studying all day. All day. Where she's been studying. I don't know.
All day?
All day.
Cards is live? Stop. Nash Cards is live.
They only do like sports breaks though. They're always live though. They're like live almost every or a lot. But what you know about this?
What is that?
Monsters. Dungeons and Dragons.
Wait, are we still recording now?
We are still recording. I'll just pause it.
Oh, okay.
I'll need to like. We're back. What were you saying? Do you think it's gonna shoot up? What market? What card?
This Detective Pikachu card.
It's a tough card.
That's sick.
I like that
I like it. We just had one raw, but we immediately sold it.
It's a popular card.
Literally the very next. Sold it the very next day.
That's the best thing when you do the quick flips.
This isn't ours. We sold ours.
That's a hot card.
Yeah. It's dropping.
That's for all the.
Honestly, we gave the person a really good deal. We sold ours for $260 because like the last 3 sold were like $250, and it was just it's literally consistently like $360.
That's how it is with the new set. It goes down all the time. Wait, hold up.
It's still. Damn.
No. The money calling. Y'all following me? Okay, I can't say it on the podcast either.
Your turn.
But nah. So something that I always like to do on the podcast, and like a little section I always like to have, is I called like, what is your first Charizard? And obviously you guys said that how you guys started is that you guys like pulled it, like you went to GameStop and you bought the packs, which is also surprising. That's crazy that you guys were able to actually buy packs at a retail store in the big 2025.
This is before the boom.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was before Prismatic came out.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. But you open packs, and pretty much what I like to say is like your first Charizard. So for me, for example, it's kind of like that monumental moment where you're like, oh, I guess we're really going to be in this. Or like this is something that we really enjoy doing, that we see ourselves doing. So like the defining factor for you guys, like I guess either becoming Pokemon vendors or Pokemon collectors or both.
You want to go first?
No, you go.
Honestly, I'm not really sure. Like, I think it was like Collecticon, because like at first, like when we went the first time, because I think at first I was like a little scared because I was like, well, like I like this stuff, but it kind of seems intimidating to vend. But then like talking to like Brew and Jackson like made me really feel like I was welcomed in the space, and so I feel like that really solidified me like wanting to be in the community as a vendor.
Well, I think one of the main concerns that Anisa had and still does currently have is being one of like the few like female Pokemon vendors. And in the case that like when I work and she's still doing a show, like people try to take advantage of her, I think, just because they don't think that she knows anything about it and stuff like that. And so I think that that's still kind of like a concern that she has. But I think one of the things that, where it's like, okay, like we're actually like doing this was just like I don't want it to be about the money, but like seeing the money that could be made from this is crazy. And like hearing stories of people and like, like if I could quit my day job and like do this full time, like 100% I'd do that. But, and I don't know. One day it may happen, but like I don't want to rely on this, or I can't rely on this for now, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is something that is awesome. And I know for me, where like especially like during the summer when Pokemon was doing really well, I was doing a show every weekend. I was doing TCG Player during the week. I was having a job. And having that job like really does help, like stability wise, at least, or allows me to like, now it's hard. Like, for example, it was harder for me to spend money when I had a job because I was only using job money. And now that I'm only doing Pokemon and like I went all in on Pokemon and it's doing really well and a lot better than what I was doing in my job, it's like, and for me, it also like screwed up my perception of money. Like because of all the success, like it's like, oh yeah, it's like at Collecticon, it's like, oh, there's a deal that I witnessed. It's like, oh yeah, there's like 16K on the table, like, and it's just like, yeah, whatever. And like when you say that someone like, I don't want to say normal, but when you say that someone that's not in the space or someone that's like, they're like, what the heck, like, or has like a normal job, like 16,000, like that's a car. And it's just like it's just another day in the neighborhood for Pokemon people. And I think that has definitely like screwed up my perception of money and like where like excuse me, oh my goodness. I've definitely had to like um I don't want to say scale down, but I've had to like realign my perception because it's definitely unscrewed that. And me like going all in on it. And obviously it's good to reap the fruits of your labor, but if you're doing it too much, like it's the end of the month, and by before you know it, you've spent like $1,000 on stuff that doesn't really matter. You're like, I could have put that back into inventory and like done a lot more. But I think that's definitely I forgot what we were talking about, and I'm yapping again. But something that is great. And you said a point there, Blake, about Anisa, and obviously Anisa, you're the first like girl that I've had on the podcast, which is I don't want to say it's weird, but it just like I never really thought about it. But how does that feel being a woman vendor in the Pokemon space?
It definitely has its challenges, but I just use those as like opportunities to grow as a person, and like there's always going to be like a bad apple in the bunch, and like it doesn't define everyone. Like recently I've had like a couple run-ins with people where I've been like shoved and told that like I've been very unpleasant. They've called me very unpleasant names, and it's just because they have this perception of who you are when that's not the truth. And so like trying to overcome that is a little rough sometimes, but having like the support of Blake and like other people talk through it helps a lot. And I know that like people have come up to me and said, like, I had one of my friends, Highback, Solomon's wife, come up to me and say that like I helped inspire her to want to become a vendor because like I'm so like friendly and like welcoming, and because she sees another like female vendor in the space and doesn't feel as ostracized. I think that's really impactful, and I didn't think that was like a huge deal, but when someone said that to me, it kind of did put it into perspective of like, oh, I'm helping other people step out of their comfort zone and try something new. So that was really awesome. And so it's given me that like boost of confidence, and it's helped me be more comfortable with who I am and like being kind to other people too. So yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's awesome. And yeah, Highback, she's cool. She's so cool. She she kind of told me, what did she tell me? Oh, so she went to Lighthouse and she like loves Sylveon, and I didn't know that. And I showed her my PSA 10 Sylveon, and I was like, which was originally yours, or this was y'all's, I think.
We bought it from Tommy, and we got it the same day.
Yeah, and Tommy wants it back for me, but this card appreciated like really well in the time that I bought it. But anyway, back to the story. She was coming by my booth and she was like telling me all about her Sylveons, and I showed her my PSA 10 one. And she's like, dang, that's like super expensive. And I'm like, Christmas gift, like come around if someone wants to get a nice Christmas gift for you or something, like let me know. And she's like, dang it, Rocco, that's why you're so good at this stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to help people build their PCs. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a traveler. But no, I think that's great, and that to see like a lot of like women vendors and like a whole bunch of like just people like from all walks of life, and like a lot more. I've definitely seen a couple more like Pokemon couples or whatever come into the space, and it's very cool to see, and like goes back to the point of like bonding. Like it's very much a bonding experience, and it's just cool. And it's something that I look forward to seeing more of in the future. And like it helps build character. Like it helps you, like people are so jerk. Like there's so many jerks in this space. Like I remember there were some people in nationals where you could tell they're like sports cards people, but they got into Pokemon because they saw the money. And like I did this. Like I asked I don't know if I told you guys the story, but there was a vendor And I asked him, I was like, yo, can I see this card off your table, right? And I took it off. He's like, yeah, sure, yeah. He's like super chill. He's like, oh, yeah, sure, I don't care. So I look and then I like pick it up. I look at like, yo, look at this. And like I showed the like Jim was behind me, and I put it back. And he looked at me and was like, hey, next time you take someone's card off their table, ask them. And I'm like, what are you like, bro? I just literally you were chill with me and like, but like it just builds character, and it's like, you know what? I'm just not even gonna pay attention to that guy. Or there's other scenarios that have happened, and I know, yeah, certain scenarios that have happened that are not pleasant, but you roll the punches, and like you just like gotta. It's a learning lesson at the end of the day. Like if you might not convince that person to grow in that whatever aspect they're growing in, but if you can grow in it yourself, it's definitely something that could help. And like it's better for you, I guess, to take in at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like my thoughts on it. I'm just very, I don't know. I'm just a guy. I'm just a young man, bro. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time.
It's okay.
But,
don't we all?
You guys kind of showed your collections already, so I was gonna ask for your favorite, but before we wrap up, because I know it's late, we're getting late. What have been some of your guys' favorite memories in the TCG? You guys have obviously talked a lot about like Collecticon stuff like that, but like stuff that has been fun for you guys, I guess.
Well, I'll go first. Like, I know that it was only like a couple weeks ago, but being in Atlanta was really fun. Like, I left that weekend and I was like, that was probably one of the most fun weekends I've had in like a couple of years. And so being able to build that community and feel like you can trust people who like you will actually have your back, it really helps, especially being far away from my parents. And so having like our own little family here definitely helps. And so yeah, like I get to tell my parents in California, yeah, I'm doing Pokemon and all of my friends are from Pokemon, and they're like, it's the hobby that you guys found together, like that makes sense. And so it's fun being able to relate to people here and have that sense of community.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the highlight of my week is like on a Saturday or Sunday when there is a show. I feel like that's like one of the things that I look forward to the most, is just going to like talk to people and connect with people and have these interactions with everybody, and yeah, just like about like a once a week thing, just try to meet and build new connections, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And how I see it in that way is for like, it's kind of like my recharge, I guess, or it's like, I'm with all my friends at school or whatever, and it's kind of different. At school and stuff like that, for me at least, it's like, I don't want to say it's less genuine, but it's not like I see the same people every day. I've seen them all for like the past like 8 years of my life, every single day almost. And it's like most of us, like, we're friends, but like after high school we probably won't be friends or whatever. And most of the people, like, I've had my fair share of like hate comments at school or whatever, because they see my stuff, it's all public. And they see everyone, they're like, oh, whatever, like they hate on it. And it's like, I don't really care, but it's like I get to go to these shows where it's like actually genuine friends, and it's like actually people that like, and it's crazy because it's like I've only been here for like almost a year, but it feels like I've known everyone here for like I don't know, like 2 like decades or whatever. I haven't been around decades, but it's been like I've known most of these people like
more than one.
I've been like I've known these people for a long time, and it's like it's so interesting that like that bond is just there, and it's like personal, like it's just there. Getting food after shows and stuff like that. I know you all. I'm not gonna throw Jackson under the bus, but Jackson gets pretty lit after shows. Granted, he sells like a $15,000 Gengar, so I mean, like it's fair. but it's just fun, and it's very different, and it's unlike anything else. And like I said before, like I've said multiple times, and I'll continue to say, Pokemon's like really genuinely changed my life. And it has definitely helped me like grow as a person and like get to where I want to be. And just connect with so many more people. Like there's opportunities that I would never thought would have been able to happen because of Pokemon. And it's all because like I don't want to say I took the risk, but it's like all because like, I listened to my mom. She was like, you should do Pokemon. I'm like, sure, let's do it. Let's run it to the moon. Okay, we're here. So
it's really awesome.
I definitely think that.
It's always nice to have support from family.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Now it's a little different. Well, I don't say it's a little different now, but now it's more like, I don't know. It depends. It clashes sometimes with interest and stuff like that. Having liuke definitely helps, but it's something that like I'm very obsessive. Like I have an obsessive mentality, so when I get into something, I get really into something. So Pokemon and business is just something that I got really into, and I don't know. It helps. It keeps you motivated when like you don't want to do it, but you have to list cards on TCG Player at 1 a.m. or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm yapping again. I always be yapping. I feel like I want to give y'all. Do y'all have anything? Like I don't know. Like
honestly, I just want to say like thank you to all of the vendors that we've become friends with over the past couple of months, and like making this space really welcoming for everyone. And also like I feel like something that I like about our group is that if we have like a problem or something, like we're adults about it. And so like just keeping that mentality of like growing as a group too and supporting one another. I really appreciate that. So yeah. Do you have anything? No. But yeah. Thank you so much, Rocco, for having us.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate
thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Everything that you've done. I can see your business really growing, and I think you're putting a lot of excellent hard work into it. And so it's really admirable coming, from people who are decades older than you.
Oh.
It's only one.
Oh, make me feel old.
But yeah.
Hey, that's my job, bro. That's my job. It's to constantly remind you all that, I'm playing. Hey, it's all good. As long as we never mind, actually I was gonna say something I should say it. About a good friend of ours. But no. Okay, cool. Thank you, and I appreciate it. I don't know. Ever since I was 9 is like when I was like, you know what, I want to do something with my life. So let's do something with my life. And a lot of bumps and stuff led us here, but my last question for y'all would be, before I ask like where people can find you and stuff, is what would be your guys' like piece of advice, I guess, or your guys' kind of like, your piece of advice for people that, let's say it's a couple that wants to get into Pokemon, whether selling or vending or enjoying the games or something. What would be your guys' piece of advice to like enjoy it as a couple and like help it grow both not your guys' hobbies, but also your relationship?
I would just say like communication. Communication really is key for any any relationship that you have. And so with us, like we do try to communicate, like if one of us is doing a show by herself, if it's me, like if I'm doing it by myself, like I send him pictures of the trades that I'm doing, so that way he knows what is happening, just because like we both are in this 50-50, and so we ask each other, all right, are you happy with this deal? What cards do we want? What cards do we not want? And just making sure that the other person feels heard, it really is the main advice that I would give, I think. So just communication.
Mm-hmm. Only buy the cutesy cards that your girlfriend will like. Because if you get something that's not cutesy, she's gonna get mad at you.
Well, that's valid. That's very valid.
Well, so you're not gonna say anything nice?
No, it is super nice having someone that that you can trust 100%. Like I trust her judgment and her opinion. And so like a lot of the things like we will only do if we're both on board with it. And so like if one of us doesn't really want it, then it's like, no, we're not going to do it. And so having that and having somebody that, I know that there's kind of been some talk with like the two of the big upcoming shows here in Nashville. And so what we talked about doing is her do one and I do another. And so that's nice to be able to like split and do that as well.
And also have the inventory large enough to do that.
Yeah. No, I think it's awesome. And that's great that you guys are doing that. And that, yeah, I think you guys are like really cool, like really good inspiration. And like for anyone that really wants to do it, I know for me and like set aside Pokemon, like I know that, I can talk to you guys about like a lot of other things that happen in my life because I live a crazy. I don't, we don't talk about our life. Well, we talk about our life, but yeah, don't worry about it. That will come at a later date. But no, it's definitely awesome what you guys are doing, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's been a while. It's been a long podcast. But last thing is, where can people find you before we close this thing up?
They can find us on Instagram at Pookemon.ab and also on TikTok.
You don't got to look too hard. But we've also haven't posted anything.
Yeah. But I'm working on a refresh of our social media, so that's also a reason why. But our next show might be the Wilson County show
this
weekend, but then we'll be in Chicago for the following weekend. And then after that, it's National and PokéCon, which will both be at. Well, one of us will be at each. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Well, hopefully, and y'all be in my area at Chicago, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. Y'all are not staying with Jim, no?
Yeah, we are.
We're setting up with Jim.
Mm-hmm.
No, stay like outside of the convention.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, we haven't booked a hotel just yet. I looked the other day, but we haven't looked together to decide on one.
That's valid.
But the convention center is like a mall.
Mm-hmm.
It's by like a mall.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll probably stay in that same area too. But
I don't know. I'm staying in the Airbnb with Jim. He said that I can chill with him.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll sleep on the couch or something. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be fine by myself with him. Which will be an experience. Me and my rolly case, bro. I'm gonna be rolling down the airport and I'm gonna be doing. Anyway, this has been the 41st episode of the PokéSells official podcast, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to catch you guys tomorrow. I hope to catch you guys next week. There might be a vendor POV on this will be on Thursday, so probably on Saturday there might be a vendor POV that releases from Atlanta Collecticon, which you guys should go watch. And if not, then I'm sorry. I got busy with work and wasn't able to edit. But I hope you guys are enjoying this in the morning, evening, or afternoon, and I will catch you all next week.